Countdown to kickoff continuing, and it is time to cover the Tennessee Titans with Tom Abraham, host of the Tom Abraham Show. It took a long time, but Chris Johnson finally got his contract done, $53 million over 4 years. What took the Titans so long to up the ante?
I don't know that the Titans really upped the ante that much. I think it was more of Chris Johnson accepting the ante, because the Titans had said all along they were going to make him the highest paid running back in the history of the NFL. This is pretty close to the deal that was being offered. We had heard rumors around the building over there that it was around $28 million in guarantees and about $50 million for 4 years. So the final numbers being $30 million and 53 million over 4 years is about what we were hearing anyway. So I think that this was pretty close to the offer all along. I think it was a matter of Chris Johnson accepting the deal. I think the Frank Gore deal, which actually, the high mark was set with the D'Angelo Williams deal, but then the Frank Gore deal, I think, kind of set the floor, and then he realized that it was time to get something done. And I think also the terms of how it would be done was important as well. Being that it's an extension is very important. That means, because there was 2 years left on his existing deal. So what this means, this deal doesn't kick into place until 2 more years down the road. So he's now a Titan for the next 6 years. That takes him 9 years out, and with a speed back, that's, I doubt he'll play the 8th or 9th year of that deal. Probably. We'll have to see.
Well, let me ask you this. What exactly is your belief on this situation? Should a guy be allowed to hold out his contract when he's clearly being underpaid, or do you believe that these guys should stick to their word and their commitment and play out their contract?
Well, I think that you come in a la Larry Fitzgerald, a la Joe Thomas in Cleveland. I think you come in with the promise that they're going to work a deal for you, and they take care of you. And in those cases they were. The Titans had said all along that they understood that he had way outperformed the contract, and they were going to redo the deal. To stay out there when they're telling you that, they even offered him to come in and just stand at practice and go to the meetings, those types of things. They don't need to put extra carries on him during the preseason. So to me, it's dishonorable to stay out when somebody says, yes, we agree with you, please come in, we'll begin negotiating, and we'll take it from there. The other guys, all the other players came in. Deshaun Jackson came in. They all came in. So you got to kind of show, when you're under contract, show a little bit of honor to that, and you'll get taken care of. He would have gotten taken care of either way. He could have been here for the last 3 weeks.
The Vince Young experiment, it had a lot of highs. It had, seems like, more lows. Was it long overdue to turn the page on this experiment?
No, I think you had to, based on his performance. What would happen with Vince is it was kind of similar to Jeff Fisher. Right when it would get to the point where you'd say, okay, this time has passed, something dramatic would happen. The Titans would go 13-3, and you got to give Fish, another year. And then, same thing happened with Vince Young. You thought that it was the time to turn the page the year before. The problem is that they started 0-6 under Kerry Collins. Vince came in, and they went 8-2 to close the season. Well, you can't cut him free there. You got to bring him back and see what he does the next year. And so then he comes back the next year, and then the next thing you know, he's having a locker room battle with Fisher during the after the Washington Redskins game, and now it's over with. The problem with Vince would still be a Titan if the team wanted him, if the players wanted him. There was no Rudy moment. Everybody was waiting for that Rudy moment when all the players were going to go into the coach and Mike Munchak and put their jerseys on the table and say, if he doesn't play, we don't play. The problem was there was like 3 guys that wanted him around. He lost the locker room. It wasn't about losing the staff. That's one thing. The problem is that the guys didn't want him around anymore. And if you lose the players, you're done.
Why was that? Why did he completely lose everybody's faith in him and that team morality? What happened with that?
Last guy in the locker room, first guy out of the locker room, and that's your quarterback. I mean, the work ethic, there's a myopia that surrounds Vince Young, and it's a shame because he's an incredible talent, hence the 30-18 record as a starter. He's got the skills. He's not real strong mentally. He doesn't have great leadership skills that way. There are a lot of reasons for that. You can go back to his upbringing and so on and so forth, and then being pampered his whole life and being raised without a dad and all those things, if you want to break it down that way. But the fact of the matter is, he was more sizzle than he was steak, and he didn't put in the work. He didn't put in the hours, and that was a problem. I mean, when they came back after the lockout, Jake Locker opened the door for everybody else at the Baptist Sports Park. He was there at 8 o'clock in the morning. The reporting time was 9 o'clock. He was there at 8 o'clock to stick the key in the door and open the door for the rest of the team. That wasn't Vince Young. Vince was always the last guy, and he always had an excuse as to why he had to jet after practice and miss meetings and so on and so forth. And that's a problem for the rest of the team, especially when you've got, and now a situation where you've got like an offensive line type guy in Mike Munchak as a head coach. They're all about work ethic, and Vince didn't have any.
What have you seen in Jake Locker?
Well, the kid has incredible moxie. First of all, his leadership abilities, the way he carries himself out there is key. Plus, the way he throws the ball on the run. His athletic ability. I mean, you got to remember, this is a kid who had a faster time than Cam Newton at the combine, a faster 40 than Cam Newton, jumped higher than Cam Newton at the combine. So this is a very athletic player. There were a couple of times where he pulled it down and took off. In fact, in the last game against the Saints, he pulls one down and takes it in for a 28-yard touchdown, and he looked like he was shot out of a cannon. He just straight line right in. There was another time on a 3rd and 8 where he gets to 7. He's a yard short of the first down, and instead of prancing out of bounds, like Bambi, which is what we'd see with Vince. I mean, this guy lowered his shoulder, ran a guy over, dove forward. I mean, stuff that you almost don't want him to do, but he's just fighting like crazy to get that 8th yard and got it. The other part about Locker is that he's a country boy from the upper Midwest. He likes to hunt. He walks around in camouflage gear. He's got camouflage Titans gear and all that kind of stuff. This is a growing city. This is a big city, but this is Tennessee. And this is, they love the country folk here, and he fits in perfectly.
Mike Munchak, a great track record, 9-time Pro Bowler, 10-time All-Pro, Hall of Famer. What does he bring to this team?
Well, he brings the yellow jacket. I mean, he's got that, and then you've got his hires as an offensive line coach his best friend in the world, Bruce Matthews, who also has the yellow jacket. So first of all, and if you believe that the offensive line is the cornerstone of a team, you've got 2 of them that are Hall of Famers that are on this staff. So I think that then the offensive line had a tremendous off-season and preseason, I should say. Has looked very, very well. They've rushed the ball for over 5 yards of carry, and that's without Chris Johnson. So I think that he brings that. He also is more of a player's coach than people thought. A lot of people thought he was going to be this real strong disciplinarian. There is a discipline that he's instilling, but it's almost like a fear. His stature is so big, physically and on all levels. It's very rare do you have a coach that's bigger than most of the team, most of the players. There are times he's coaching this team, he looks like he's coaching a youth team. So I think that there's a certain amount of that is on this team where they kind of follow him and they respond to him because he has that kind of big stature and that leadership ability that way. But on the other hand, I mean, he canceled they closed camp a day early. You go out to practice. I did 10 or 12 shows from practice this year, and you go out to campus and they've got music blaring all throughout practice at the facility. I mean, there were things that he did that just kind of made people think, is this Munch? The practices were, 2 hours and 15 minutes, well-paced. So I think the guys really buy into what he's bringing to the table. They really love him.
In the end of this season, an over-under is set at 6.5 wins. You've given me all this great information about the team. You're picking the over, right? You're thinking over 6.5?
They're over 6.5, whether they're 9 or not, whether they're hanging around or not at the end. I was interested yesterday. I was watching the NFL Network and saw Mike Lombardi pick them to win the division. And Mike Lombardi's got a pretty good track record, and he thinks they're going to win the division. I have them at 9-7 on the season, and if something falls their way, they get a break here or there, they may play a game at the end of the season that could have playoff implications.